Welcome, citizen, to another StarCraft Nation broadcast. I'm your host, Venerati, and we are going to be continuing the MLG Dallas 2010 coverage here, and we're going to be watching the game in between EGIdra and Select. Now, this is the match where, well, that would be a little bit too much of a spoiler, but as most of you know, Idra did get knocked out of the tournament relatively quickly, and it was by the hands of Select, so was kind of a little bit of a spoiler, but it kind of sets up the drama that goes on, because in DC we saw Select get knocked down in the lower bracket, the losers bracket, early on in the match, and he fought his way all the way through the losers bracket to fight Idra in the championship match, and he did lose to Idra. So Select did get second place, but here we see Select knocking Idra out, so returning the favor, getting that revenge. And oh, how delicious it probably was. So right now, where we are is we are on Lost Temple, and this sets up a lot of different things we can see from our players here. The spawning isn't the best. I feel that, in the case of Idra, I feel like Idra would prefer to be spawning up here, in consideration that it would allow him to macro up a little bit more, because this distance right here is really, really short. It's the shortest walking distance you have on this map, period. And this will allow Select to apply early pressure if he wants to. So right now we do have the scouting SCV from Select. Now Select is going to be running around looking for a hatch or a spawning pool. And Idra, like he does so often, is going to go ahead and grab that 14 hatch and is going to feel confident enough that he can actually protect it. Now he does know that Select is not here in the northern spawning pool point. And Select right now trying to evade the drone, trying to lure the drone actually back to a fake base. I'm guessing trying to act like he's going back to a base that does not exist. However, Select right here is going to be putting up a second barracks, and Idra is going to see that. Now, what Idra is going to do about it, I'm not really sure how. His spawning pool is already down, and there's really nothing more he can do at the moment other than just sit there and wait. I do believe we're going to see some sort of defensive spine crawl. We do have the Marine right here trying to evict that drone. Will he be able to get it? Yes, he is actually able to get it. And he just goes ahead and walks over the bones and juices of that drone. So now Select moving out here with an SCV. Not sure what he's going to be up to, as we already have another SCV out here. Not sure if he's going to be trying to apply early pressure with a Marine or two, because we do have two more in production. We have one more over there. And look at the rally points. Yes, it does appear that he's going to be trying to apply some early pressure here. And it looks like Idra's saving up for a spine crawler. Is that the case? Will he be able to get in? I'm not really sure, because this drone is trying to hold off these SCVs. This Marine is trying to do something here, but of course that one Gauss rifle really isn't going to be able to do that much, as we do see actually a bunch of Zerglings coming out here. Two more Zerglings coming out of the natural. There's one Marine running for his life, as this is not the place you want to find yourself as a Marine. Now these SCVs could come in here and try to act as meat shields for these Marines, but Idra looks to be microing down on these Marines, so we are seeing them in full retreat right now, finally engaging the SCVs, allowing the Marines to DPS down these Zerglings. There's 3 Zerglings and 3 Marines, so actually 4 Marines will be more than enough to dispatch these Zerglings, but if Select is not careful, he's going to find himself in the same position he was beforehand, and going to be chased down by more Zerglings, as we do see 4 more Zerglings on the way, though wisely Select did choose not to press the attack, and we do actually have another little herd of Zerglings coming out here. Now we do have 5 Marines versus the 6 Zerglings, so of course we do have the advantage on Select's side. Another Marine coming out here. We're just seeing a massive amount of Marines coming out of Select right now, trying to apply that early pressure, not letting Idra macro it up, not letting him, easily allow himself to dig in with that economy. And we do see great micro here by Select for his Marines, trying to allow these Zerglings the least amount of face time for these Marines, because of course the Zergling units are melee, and they do need to get up in the face of those Marines. And we have a lot of Zerglings spawning right here, and holy crap, this is way too much for these Marines to handle. Select is going to try to micro them, but I don't believe that it's going to be enough, as we are going to see a surround on these Marines, and all these Marines I do believe are going to die, as we do see the last remaining bits of them. That last guy does go down, as we do see a couple of rib bones coming out of the corpses of that. So now Select has kind of had his early pressure turned on him, as we do see a barracks trying to land. Is it going to be quick enough? Yes, it will be. Going to be getting that supply depot up, as we do not want these Zerglings inside the base. And Select, of course, is going to be up on this peninsula of power trying to get a hold of these Zerglings, but unfortunately is out of range. So that early pressure that was applied by Select, not really letting Idra fully crank out and economy, because let's go and take a look at the drone count. Yes, Idra is in fact only 2 harvesters ahead, and generally right now we would see Idra way up ahead of a Terran players. Although the Terrans would be able to keep up with the mules economy-wise, we just see a higher harvester count. And look at all these Zerglings. We're on hold position, but look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them died to this nice little bio ball right here that we're starting to see. So once again, Select applying pressure, but Idra, of course, responding promptly by queuing up a lot of Zerglings. I'm not sure how this is going to go down, as Select does have a lot of Marines, but if we see a Zergling surround on all of those Marines, he could be in a world of hurt. So we have two Marines that were acting as pickets, but they are both going to go down. As we see Idra running past them, looks like he's going to try to run into the base, but actually Select, seeing this, is going to go ahead and close off his own units, choosing to sacrifice his units and not his base, as we could see a pillaging of the mineral line. So this is pretty big right here. Idra forcing Select to basically just allow all of his units to die off there, and we are seeing Stim coming into play here. Is going to be coming up in about 90 seconds, so a minute and a half game time. We're going to see Stim on the field. Now right now Select is ever so slightly behind as far as losses go, but you know, he is still one basing it. But we do see the mules being produced from both of these orbital commands, and once Select is able to push out and really feel comfortable that he's done something to Idra, we might see him go ahead and float that over there. Now, I do want to make note that we are going to see a Spire, and we are going to see a Baneling Nest. So we are going to see Idra going ahead and starting to shifting into the mid game right here, not just pumping out Zerglings, keeping himself one step ahead of Select. And go ahead and watch this. We have the Overlord sitting here back at the base. So we could see a Niduswarm, though I haven't seen many Niduswarms from Idra. Of course, we are in tournament play, so you never really know what you're going to see. We see a nice overpopulation of this mineral line. Select getting ready to transfer those units out there, and we do see a bunker coming here. So Select looking to solidify his natural, as he is he is behind as far as having his natural out there, but you know, he is negative 10 harvesters right now. So Idra able to get a little bit of peace and quiet, and able to really squeeze out a lot of drones. We do see him moving out that Overlord just ever so slightly, and actually Select, feeling confident in his positioning, is going to be moving out. But what is this? We have Banelings coming here, and we have 8 Mutalisks being queued up right now. We're about to see 8 a full-blown flock of Mutalisks, 9 Mutalisks with +1 coming out there for their attacks. So we do see that Spinecrow go down in a freaking blaze of God's, and we look at all this Banelings trapping the forces of Select. Select doing a good job of moving his Marines out of the way of those Banelings, and we do see the Mutalisks coming up here, engaging these Marines. The Marines trying to do something about these Mutalisks, as all the Marines do actually die, and we're going to see all of these Marauders go down as well. But it was effective because Idra was forced to pull his drones off of the line and actually engage the forces of Select. But we do have this flight of Mutalisks coming into the main of Select, and does Select have? Yes, Select has a lot of Marines right now, so he could really do a lot right here. We are seeing Idra focus down the tech lab right here. Great move right there, because it's so easy to knock these down, whereas if you try to chew on the barracks, you're not going to be able to get the barracks, but because the tech labs only have 400 HP, that's pretty much guaranteeing that you're going to get something for nothing. As Idra really didn't take any damage right there, but we do see the turret fire coming into the flock of Mutalisks right there, and not really liking that we do have one Mutalisk that is on life support. Meanwhile, we're seeing a massive push of Marines into the natural of Idra. We do see them stimming, but they are engaging the Queen right there, and we do see some of them that are actually not focus firing the Mutalisks. We do see the drones pulling away and not taking the fire in front of the Mutalisks, so the Mutalisks sitting there taking the DPS from those Marines. Of course, there's not enough Marines to kill all these Mutalisks, but these Mutalisks are very expensive, and the Marines are oh so cheap, as they are only 50 minerals, whereas these Mutalisks are a royal butt ton. And let's go ahead and take a look. Yes, actually they are 200 minerals versus 50 minerals, so yeah. Any day of the week, I would rather have 4 Marines than 1 Mutalisk. In that stand-up battle, of course. I love Mutalisks, in fact, they are so mobile. And we see 2 Mutalisks go down there. A third Mutalisk going down to careless movements, not even attack move right there, just a right click. And we do see those Banelings bursting like nice little water balloons. They do look like little radioactive water balloons, Chernobyl water balloons, in fact. And we do see the splitting of the forces by Select. Select trying not to take as much damage as he possibly can. We do see 3 contacts on that Marine ball, so we are going to see the Marines fall to the forces of Idra once again. All of those Mutalisks doing a good job of cutting them down, and Select taking out the Queen once again. That Queen playing a pivotal part of Idra's production here, as this is really what's allowing him to produce so many units, and we do see the Mutas chewing on this barracks. Of course, the barracks isn't going to be going down anytime soon, as there's only 5 Mutas, and we do see the forces of Select stimming, trying to grab those Mutas and knock them out of the sky. They are running hyped up on their drugs. They are on methamphetamines, and we do see the centrifugal hooks of these Banelings coming here and wiping out just about all of these Marines here. 2 Marines left trying to run for their life, but of course it's not going to be enough. All of those Zerglings are going to be able to chase them down and dig their claws into the back. And yes, we see more Banelings spawning right here underneath the watchful gaze of these Mutalisks. Whereas right now, Select could be in a world of hurt because this bunker isn't going to be able to withstand this many Banelings. And we do actually see, it looks like a drop is going to go down here. How many of these Banelings are actually going to deploy on those Marines? I'm not really sure, as they were scampering back to the bunker. But Idra just now able to see what's going on here. We do see the drop on the high ground of Idra. Select as Mutalisks in his base. So we're seeing battlefields on both sides right now, as we just saw one of the Overlords drop right there. Select focusing on the main of his base as he sees how important it is about to become to defend that. As we have so many Banelings moving into here, trying to get to this natural, going ahead and bypassing the barracks, thinking about going into natural, but I don't know what's going on. They're kind of thinking about it, and yes, the middle line is going to be pillaged there, and boom, there we go. We see a good 2/3 of the SCVs detonating right there from Idra. 2 more Banelings trying to chase down these SCVs, and yes, both of them do go down, as well as a lot of Marines right there. So that is not where you want to be. Meanwhile, we have the Marines in the natural of Idra, so returning the favor, killing off a lot of drones right there. More stimming, more micromanagement, as this medevac is trying desperately to keep these Marines alive. And we see more Marines coming from Select's base as reinforcements, and we see Idra GG out of that. So after all of the pressure that Idra was applying to that natural, Select was still able to just train those units so quickly, and it was just like a train of pain coming over here and just devastating this natural. Of course, Idra did not want to see the rest of the battle go on, as his main was just about mined out, and we did not see any sort of ninja base or any sort of other expansions like that. So great game in between Idra and Select. Select doing a great job of using his Marines, even though there were Banelings on the field. He still allowed those units to become effective. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. There are going to be 2 more of these games in between Idra and Select. So as always, citizens, stay safe.